Hi everyone. This is the video 34 Dunder method of a module 5 from H&M Technologies online training. Today we are going to look behind the curtain of Python. Have you wondered why you can use the plus symbol to add two numbers, but also use the exact same plus symbol to join two strings together, or why you can pass a list into the length function to get the size? How does Python know how to handle these completely different data types? That secret lies in magic methods, also known as Dunder methods, because they start and end with double underscores. You already know the most famous one, Dunder init, which is this Dunder init. Today we are going to learn how to use the other magic methods to make our custom objects to behave exactly like a native Python projects. We want our classes to integrate seamlessly into a Python ecosystem, right? For this, let's open your VS Code and create a file called dundermethod.py or a magicmethod.py. Okay. When you print a custom object, Python usually outputs a hides a memory address. We previously fixed this using a dunder str, but there are another magic method called dunder ripper. Dunder REPER. PR. What is the difference is we have this dunder str is for the end user. Okay, it should be a readable and printable. We have another one or EPR. Dunder is for the developers. It should be a ideally looks exactly like the code needed to react it to the object. Let's see how it works. Okay. For this, I'm going to create a class called book. Now, first, defining our class with string magic method. Class called book. Here, I'm defining with dunder init. Inside, I'm going to create a self as usual, title and author, what book have, and pages. Okay, this is the most of the attributes we have. Now I need to define them. Self dot title, author, self dot pages. Not done. For the end user, I'm creating a beautiful output, like I define under str to format output, and the parameter itself I'm telling to return the formatted output self dot title by self dot author. Now something for the developers. For debugging the output, I am defining a repair self here. I am returning the format output book self dot title comma self dot author, and also along with a self dot pages. Right now it's time to test the code and creating my book for the class book called Python Crash Course, and the author name is Eric Maths. Author name is Eric Mathis, and I also need to give page right 544. Okay, this what data I give. I'm trying to print user output. Then in that user output, print my book. See, user output is a Python Crash Course by Eric Mathis. Do some changes here. Now let's see developer output. That's what also I created, right? And now I'm printing developer output in a new line. If I give like this developer output, I got the output whatever we got for user. That's what we got. But I want output for a developer. So I'm giving something we created REP wrapper output. Yeah, see, output differs. Developer output is a book Python Crash Course Egg Maths 544 along with the pages we got. See here, def dunder str self returns a clean human readable string when you call a print my book. Python secretly calls my book a string. That's what we got, right? Return self dot title by self dot author. Now see def REPR dunder REPR repair. It returns a strict technical string. Notice how many written strings look like exactly like a Python code book and Python crash course Eric Maths 54. That is the best practice. If another program is debugging your code, they know exactly what data makes up this object. This way you can use this dunder methods in a different cases. Now let's see some math. If I have to, if I have two books, can I add them together? By default, no. Python will throw a type error. But we can teach Python how to add our objects using a add magic method. We can also teach Python how to compare our objects. Does look B book B1 and that is equal to book 2. Let's use EQ, that's equals, to define those rules. For this, I am creating a class called book, and I define this with a dunder init parameters self and title and also author and then finally pages. Now I'm defining self dot title. Now I'm creating the magic method for plus operator, and I define add self and other book I need to add. What happens when you add two books? The page counter comes together, right? So for this, I am returning self dot pages plus other book dot pages. Now the magic method for equal, I'm defining dunder EQ self as usual and other book. The two books are equal if they have the same title and author, right? For this, I'm returning this self dot title that equals other book dot title and also self dot author that equals other book dot author, right? Now it's time to test code. For this, I'm creating book 1. Book 1 is a Python basics, author Eric, and the page is 300. Now I'm creating another book called book 2. Total I have 3 books. 2 books are same with the same page and same author and same book name. One was a different book name. Now test dunder add. I'm testing dunder add method, which is I want total pages, so I'm creating total pages. That is book 1 plus book 2. Total pages to read. Total pages. See the output terminal. Total pages to read 750. 300 plus 450, which is 750. Now let's do test dunder EQ method. For this, I am printing total pages to read. Total pages. For EQ is book 1 exactly the same as book 2 question mark. Here book 1 equals to book 2. See the output is book 1 exactly the same as book 2. We got answer false because book 1 is a different one, book 2 is a different one. Book 1 is a Python basics, book 2 is a advanced Python. So somewhere it's book 2 is a different one. Now same thing print with book 1 and book 3. Now it's a true. Is book 1 is exactly the same as book 2? Yes, true, because we created like that. Book 1, book 2 is the same. Here I define and under add self or the other book. When you type book 1 plus book 2, Python secretly runs book 1 and book 2. We programmed is to rip the dot pages attribute out of the both books and add those integers together. That's what we get as written. which is 750. And here diff dunder eq self other book. When you type a book 1 that is equal to book 3, Python secretly runs a book1.eq book 3. We define the rule: if the title match and authors match, consider them equal. And also we mention that the pairs also be equal. It returns the true. I have completely customized how Python operates behave. You saw in operators video. To wrap this up, let's look at a containers. Lists and dictionaries are containers. We use the length to see how many items they hold, and we use brackets like my list to grab a specific item. We use index number inside the list. What if we build a custom library class that holds our books? Let's use dunder length and dunder get item to make our library act exactly like a built-in Python list. Now let's see how to make this. For this I am taking a class library. In library I define dunder init, inside that as self as usual and the name, then self dot name equal to name. I define self dot books. I'm creating this as an empty list to hold our books later. Now let's define add books method, and I use append to add books to the book's title. I am making a method called length and written length of self dot books. Now another method dunder get item. To get item I want index number. Now done. Let's test our code. For this I am taking a city library. I have to give only name only because I gave name parameter central city library. To the central library, city central library, I am adding books. Harry Potter. Totally 3 books I added. One is a Harry Potter, Lord of Rings, and basic Python. Now test our dunder length. French length, what we'll do, length of the city library books, and see the output. The library has 3 books, exactly what 3 books we added. If I remove 1 book, then we have only 2 books. If I give 1 and 3 books. Okay, now I'm taking my first book, city library. To get a first book, I have to give index number 0. Then only we'll get a first book. If I give 1, I get a second book because indexing always starts from 0. And the first book is Harry Potter, right? And now I'm trying to get another book, the last book. To get last book, I don't know how many books present in the library. So to get a last book, I'm giving a -1. So the last book is basic Python. See here, define a length self. When we run length city library, Python intercepts it and runs our magic method, which counts the item in our internal list. Then it will give. So it counts the internal list and it has to give 3 books. Then see the define get item. We have index number. When we type city library index number as a 0, Python passes 0 into the index parameter. Our class seamlessly fetches the first item. We made a custom object field native, right? This how we can use dunder methods. Okay, if I want the same thing with the help of the length and all, I need to write a function to get my length and to get item. Instead of this, with the help of this methods, I can easily get it. Okay, why magic methods matters? Because Python is designed to be elegant instead of forcing developers to memorize and varied custom methods like my library dot get book count or book 1 combine pages with book 2. Magic methods allow you to use a standard universal Python syntax like length plus and equal on your own custom objects It makes your code incredibly intuitive to read and use. The main motto of the Python methods and everything is to make developers easy and code code looks cleanly and easy to understand. That's what the main motto. And along with this much of simplicity, Python can do incredible stuff. That's why so many big companies are still using the Python, and later it continued. Okay, that's why we are also learning Python now. I have some practice questions. One is just create a shopping cart class. It should have an attributes like items, a list. Add a standard method to append items to the cart, and then implement Dunder length. So length my cart returns a total number of items. Then fourth, implement a get item, so you can access the first item using my cart 0 with the index number. Then you implement a Dunder str, so printing the cart output shopping cart with x items and number of items. Give this a try. In our next video, we are putting everything from this module together into a massive OOPA mini project where we build a complete bank account system, right? And thank you for choosing H&M Technologies. Keep coding and see you there.